Commission with the EC, and as detailed in their petition to the Electoral Commission on September 17, 2024. The NDC, on the basis of their own established discrepancies within the provisional register, is demanding the Electoral Commission to do the following: permit an independent forensic audit of the voters register and its IT system, convene stakeholders meeting, agree to publish findings of the forensic audit, re-exhibit the register after forensic audit, review and correct all unauthorized transfers, adopt a revised timeline for electoral activities, and institute accountability and integrity measures. The position of the New Patriotic Party. We in the MPP will be hypocrites to suggest that the NDC acted wrongly by engaging the Electoral Commission with their concerns pertaining the 2024 provisional register and other matters of electoral concern. Historically, the New Patriotic Party has been known for being lead advocates and crusaders for most of the electoral reforms that have positively shaped our nation's democracy. From campaigning against the use of opaque ballot boxes to demanding the introductions of voter identification cards with pictures and the usage of biometric verification devices, the MPP has always been at the center and front of advocacies that seek to guarantee free, fair, and transparent elections. However, many Ghanaians and the MPP cannot comprehend. It's why the NDC has still not submitted to the Electoral Commission detailed information of its so-called irregularities, discrepancies, and unauthorized manipulation of the provisional voter register, despite several appeals by the EC. For instance, in page 2 of their petition to the EC, the NDC stated emphatically that they have uncovered evidence of 243,540 illegal transfers, 3,957 deleted names of voters, as well as over 15,000 unidentified voter transfer paths in the provisional register. Yet, 13 days after the NDC first met the EC on September 6, 2024, they have still not provided a single document to authenticate any of these allegations. We ask, is this not interesting? Indeed, if the NDC have any evidence of illegal transfers, why have they not submitted evidence of such an illegality to be reversed by the Electoral Commission? We believe strongly that the nationwide demonstration by the NDC would have been justified had the EC failed to act after receiving evidence from the NDC on the alleged irregularities and discrepancies. As many of you will attest to, the NDC has a despicable reputation of throwing allegations around without any substantive evidence. It will be recalled that following the close of polls for the 2020 general elections, the NDC, through several media engagements, declared former President Mahama as winner of the elections. At this time, we will let you watch a video by the NDC.
Thank the electorate for giving us a working majority in Parliament. 140 seats in Parliament, which is a majority. And no attempt should be made to subvert that. I've looked at the results we've collated so far, and I'm excited, I'm happy with the results. And we won in 10 regions out of 16, and the Ghanaian people have expressed confidence in us. We would resist any attempt to subvert the will of the people.
Have won this election by some 6,166,385, and that constitutes 50.15%.
Allow me to begin by expressing my deepest gratitude to you for your tremendous support, which you expressed overwhelmingly and convincingly at the polls. There's no doubt that Ghanaians from every region of this great nation of ours voted for change. And we did so in both the presidential and parliamentary elections.
He has won 141. That puts us in a clear majority and will be giving President Mahama the needed majority in Parliament to be able to conduct his business as president. What the clear majority...
Presidential candidate of the National Democratic Congress, who is the president-elect, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, will address the nation and speak to issues pertaining to the presidential resolves declared by the Jim Mensah Bosmanasare-led Electoral Commission. That's announcement number 1. Announcement number 2 is that the MPP still has parliamentary majority as we speak. The NDC, the National Democratic Congress, is still holding on to its parliamentary majority, as our General Secretary stated. As we speak, we know that we have won 140 seats.
Ladies and gentlemen, our collation so far indicates that our presidential candidate, President John Dramani Mahama, is ahead, and we are expecting that the Electoral Commission will very soon come out to declare him the next president-elect of the Republic of Ghana.
Let me repeat. Let me use this opportunity to, as a matter of urgency and importance, call on the outgoing president, President William Akufo-Addo, to concede defeat in the interest of our sovereignty, in the interest of the sanctity of our democracy, in the interest of the very people that he claimed he wants to fight for. He must concede defeat, and it's very important. Let me
declare presidential results. Apart from chairperson of Electoral Commission. But Ntiasia Semunyane say Electoral Commission no on presidential results no free soro emesi from. Every the various polling stations bia so you declare results no. And until the results are actually declared at the polling station. It is a Electoral Commission for declare no ho now or copies here. Okay, can you see any more? We should to me who figures here. Echo nationally. Into can say figures here I pick from Electoral Commission polling stations across the country. No say President Mahama odi animua obedim kunim. Na the AC our parliamentary level no there. Enye ye ni aye ye ni aka. Results I pick from Electoral Commission returning officers here. We declare yan call for no winners already no 141 there. Yan saka. Enu nti ne ka say control parliament. Enti no.
On this note, let me announce to all our supporters that you are free to jubilate. You.
After the EC's official declaration of the results, the NDC certainly alleged rigging and urged their supporters to demonstrate on the streets and also refrain from recognizing President Akufo-Addo as winner of the elections. Some of the demonstrations, as we witnessed, nearly turned bloody, and their hoodwink supporters assaulted security personnel and innocent Ghanaians with various harmful objects. As fate would have it, when the NDC finally had their day in court, their current national chairman, who was at that time the general secretary of their party, could not tell the Supreme Court the total votes that were amassed by the NDC and the total valid votes that were cast during the elections. And here is a video of Mr. Esiedu Ketia.
Now, in all the figures that were mentioned as the valid vote cast and all those things, you were saying if the figures were correct, and that there were inconsistencies in the figures, I want to ask you, now, in your own calculation, what were the total valid votes cast in the presidential elections on 7 December 2020? In your own calculations.
My Lord, those calculations are reserved for a meeting for us to reconcile the figures, because the first respondent herself keeps changing the figures. And so it says, when you bring your...
Excuse me, Mr. Ketia, help the court. You see, when you started giving evidence, you said you had all representatives across the 275 constituencies. You said you put agents to use the... Yes, and they were to, collect the figures. You said it. Then he's asking you that from that, what figure did you get? You.
My Lord, I haven't brought that figure to court.
Okay. Then, from your own calculations, what were the valid votes cast in favor of the petitioner, to your knowledge?
My Lord, when we discovered this discrepancy, it was difficult to even know which figures are.
You don't know. You just answer. You don't know.
I don't have them here.
Okay. Then the last one. What figures from your own calculations did the second respondent get as the total valid votes cast in his favor?
My Lord, I don't have those figures here.
Thank you.
It even becomes more interesting with revelations that were made by Mr. Esiedu Ketia during his campaign for election as national chairman of the NDC in 2022, when he boldly told a gathering of his party supporters that the NDC's own collated results for the 2020 general elections would have disgraced the party in court. The reason he lied to the justices of the Supreme Court that he could not furnish them with figures of the party's collated results. Yet again, let's listen to.
Buami, na yempe NDC font ma godon ka say NDC for yebeto abey entro no mudi medi. Me bought about 3 videos. Na e da pa NDC font ma no pay. Me any kan fi Esiedu Ketia national chairman. On you see on LED entro ka say your Supreme Court no. In some way Esiedu Ketia de ko tudwa. Asante me any kan pa Esiedu Ketia ontuma. Na wi a ato force so na no call parliament e ko di intro. Enti no so be pa na ontuma na ye de akyereti for. Asante any kan fa Esiedu Ketia no Supreme Court. Elections aye kan wasemi. Any results ni ntia ya ni abre a ye ka ho asem no e saade we ntia because on be saade we ya no mo read genuinely a o ma ba bonten abehyehitai create problems o
congratulate obi so wi no munimi yo
onimi
o mo be bi na je do o wantia o man congratulate Dr. Bob yakra say electoral commission
e ka no ni ntuma nko asaka da bia na ye grasafo asante me mo no sesi ana say time ye tia okay yen komra ha yen mo sesi
so say me ko jina daka bo don't find results from rather than Fanqua. Results are only man. They say, would the jina daka be as a defend there in the grass? And what mean fast army and I'm saying, a young court lawyer, Chicata, and yet you are sad. Someone can just say, I can come once and that's how they call me Chicata. Lekoi could Jaima, no, so you know, I bet you of flair and say, so we do a planting. Daniel, my dear, so no, movie cocoa to their local Pemaya. I mean, the meeting of my side. And not in a cocoa to our movie said, Marys also here, because I'm fine with
But no, and that's a bit.
Oh, nipa.
Oh, and Trona, you can't want some.
It is obvious from Mr. Sediketia's own admission that the NDC knew from their own collated results that they had lost the 2020 elections. Friends from the media, it is obvious that as a country, we have allowed the NDC to get away with so many lies and deceptions. Lies that nearly tarnished our enviable democratic credentials in the 2020 and in some instances threatened the peace and security of our dear republic. Undoubtedly, the recent outburst by the NDC regarding the provisional voters register is just another grand old NDC strategy of lies and deceptions to court public sympathy and support in an election year. We are cautioning the public to be aware of the NDC's crafted false narrative of an opposition party being cheated by a state-controlled electoral body. We are, as New Patriotic Party, challenging the NDC to submit not only to the Electoral Commission, but the media and general public their so-called evidence of alarming irregularities, discrepancies, and manipulations of the provisional register. As remarked by the Justice VCRAC Crab-led panel on the biometric voters register, which was constituted by the Electoral Commission in 2015, and I quote, "The veracity of the register of voters depends on the honesty of all citizens of Ghana," unquote. At least, for once in our lifetime, the NDC must be honest with Ghanaians. The NPP finds it difficult to comprehend the call by the NDC for an independent forensic audit of the provisional register for the 2024 general elections on the basis of alleged errors and discrepancies. Ladies and gentlemen, in addressing the critical matter of this nature, the law and history must always serve as a guide. The constitutional instrument on the registration of voter, CI 91, as amended by CI 127, anticipated such errors and made provisions for remedying any such occurrence. For emphasis, CI 127 makes provision for the resolution of discrepancies such as inclusion of omitted names, removal of names of deceased voters from the register, correction to wrong spelling of names, correction to wrong registration center codes, replacement of poor quality voters' ID cards, and also makes provisions for the transfer of voters, special voters lists, and objection to names of unqualified voters on the register. Hence, the identification of any of such errors in the provisional register does not call for an independent forensic audit as being demanded by the NDC. A careful study of the petition submitted by the NDC to the Electoral Commission vis-a-vis the provision of the CI 127 establishes one undisputed fact that there is no need for an independent forensic audit of the provisional register, as the existing electoral laws offer a clear pathway to resolving concerns raised by the NDC. It is worthy of note that when the NPP, Let My Vote Count Alliance, and a host of civil society organizations made a clarion call for an independent forensic audit of the voters register in 2015 on the basis of so many errors and discrepancies in the voters register, the VCRAC Crab-led panel made the recommendation that, and I quote, "The Electoral Commission has always had the constitutional mandate to take the ultimate decision," unquote. The position of the panel was supported by Mr. Johnson Esiedi Ketia, the then General Secretary of the NDC, in his presentation of a paper on the integrity of Ghana's biometric voters register, insisted that the EC, by tradition and convention, keyword, tradition and convention, has always been able to cure errors and discrepancies in the voters register. Further, Mr. Esiedi Ketia is quoted on page 20 of the panel's report that cleaning the voters register can be done using existing mechanisms. The exhibition procedures, challenging and objecting to names of unqualified persons in the register, quote and unquote. Further, he boldly stated that, and I quote, the process of deleting deceased persons from the register is a process of exhibition of the register. The main purpose of the exhibition is for us to raise objections to people whose names are there which ought not to be there. There are forms and means of processing those objections that will lead to deletion of those names, and it includes the deletion of names of dead people too. So opportunity is given for people to present evidence. Because, let's face it, the environment we are operating in, if we say people should go and pinpoint the names of dead people for deletion without evidence, I will go and pinpoint Kwabena Japon's name and say he is dead. And there was laughter. And this is the video to the statement by Mr. Esiedi Ketia.
If the process of deleting deceased persons is the process of exhibition of the register. After every provisional register is compiled, it is exhibited. Before we go into any elections, the register is exhibited. And the main purpose of the exhibition is for us to raise objections to people whose names are there which ought not to be there. There are forms and the means of processing those objections that will lead to deletion of those names. And it includes the deletion of names of dead people too. So opportunity is given for people to present evidence. Because let's face it, the environment we are operating in, if we say people should go and pinpoint the names of dead people for deletion without any evidence, I will go and pinpoint Kwabena Japon's name and say he's dead.
You can all see in the video the position of the NDC in 2015. It is clear that there are existing protocols to rectifying errors in the provisional register, and paramount to such protocols is the need for stakeholders to submit to the Electoral Commission an evidence of registered voters who should either be added to or deleted from the provisional register. On the basis of the panel's position and that of the NDC, which was communicated by Mr. Esiedi Ketia, the MPP and other stakeholders abandoned their quest for an independent forensic audit of the 2012 voters register and agreed to the use of voters exhibition exercise to address our concerns. In view of the above, we want to ask the NDC what has changed. Why are they running from that tradition and convention? If there was no need for an independent forensic audit of the register in 2015, why should it be done now? In playing the devil's advocate, let us even admit that there are errors with the provisional register. We humbly ask, how can such errors be corrected when the NDC are refusing to present evidence of errors to the Electoral Commission, the body clothed with the legal authority to supervise the compilation of the voters register? Ladies and gentlemen, we can equally not forget the words of former President Mahama, who in October 2015 stated that the Electoral Commission is an independent body mandated by law to decide what to do. So is a video of Mr. Mahama.
It's not my job. We have an independent electoral commission, and the electoral commissioners have security of office. Once they are elected, the president cannot remove them. I'm not supposed to interfere in the work of the electoral commission. And so, really, asking me this question, I don't know what to say. If the electoral commissioner was sitting here, you could ask her, what are you going to do about the electoral list? But I have no right to interfere in that electoral. Ghana has an electoral commissioner that is independent and does not, consult the president to do anything. What she's got is she's got an inter-party advisory committee that is made up of representatives of all the political parties. And so as far as I know, she called a meeting of that committee and asked all of them to bring their views. And they were supposed to present their views by the 22nd of September. And based on the views that they would present, a decision will be taken on what to do with the electoral register. It's a relatively young register because we used it for only one election. And it was a register that was biometrically compiled. And what we've done in the past is when we have a young register, is to clean it up. But one party says they want it scrapped completely and a new register, compiled. We have to look at whether they have a case, and that's why they are supposed to present their view. But they've not only presented their view, they've been holding demonstrations and so on and so forth. So it's for the Electoral Commission to decide what we need to do. It's not my job.
So, Mr. Mahama, why are you and the NDC not allowing the Electoral Commission to decide what to do, but are embarking on demonstration? Hence, in our view of the above, it is hypocritical for the NDC to be ordering the Electoral Commission to conduct an independent forensic audit of the provisional register. Friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, I will conclude my statement by referencing page 70 of the report by the 2015 VCRAC crab-led panel on the biometric voters register, which states that, and I quote, political parties and all citizens of Ghana should exercise vigilance and maturity when the provisional registers of voters are exhibited so that they can check the entries and thereby help the Electoral Commission to have a register of voters as credible and as clean as possible. It is a shared responsibility, unquote. We ask, where lies the commitment of the NDC to help the EC produce a credible register when they are refusing to submit evidence of an alleged irregularity to the EC? In view of the submission made by the New Patriotic Party, it is obvious that the recent agitations by the NDC pertaining the 2024 provisional register is needless, deceptive, mischievous, and a deliberate attempt to create tensions in the country, knowing very well that they are bound to lose the 2024 general election. May God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make our nation great and strong. Thank you very much. Enyano eni adofo mu a yehia mu ahawie yi mama kwa baba osun kokoko na mayoko no headquarters ene adekronti a ya frɛ mon central for ne sɛ yenyina nim enkomo a ekoso e wa Ghana ha a ipeku edi anim o sa nkomo wi eye the National Democratic Congress efa Electoral Commission Provisional Voters Register omoka ho asem kan PP there kan NDC for ene ka omasem kan fire ho nenso so enam se ye wa ba mu ne yesa ye key stakeholder o abato on sensem o Ghana nti na yesa e ba bonten na yesa ye kire adwen ye kasafa ho enkanka se NDC Director of Elections Dr. Mane Boama a true challenge say adna MPP ya din ayen kasa edi kan NDC for yenyanim say ebnada atwami September 17th yechre electoral commission na sema no mo kan ene say electoral commission voters register no ensem bibiri ho a omo hwe a say the electoral commission ye no electoral commission pre koti kwan bi so ewi abanum e da boa NPP for na ni nyina so yebeka ya September 6 na electoral commission for atomonsa friend this for a omo no omo ye nhyiamu enam NDC nsema na omo ka se omanya njinaso bi e kire se nkofo bi a omo wu edin wo electoral commission provisional register nim ene nkofo bi a omo nim ho hwe ni a transfer omo vote every omo constituency sa meeting course no electoral commission da bontin se omo busa NDC for se njinaso omo de ba no omo fa momo na omo so nya kwan enhwehwem me no ka say from 6 September electoral commission demanding from NDC for say omo for njinaso ma no omo fa mbai electoral commission adwuma omo ye say omo hwe say abato be koso no ye NPP for so you interest from say be hwe say asundue o mem ha no so e betena say akoso esema NDC for kano eyade a eye nwanwa papa as a political party ninya free say NDC for dance be bia di Ghana ha yan hwe ni ya edo ye ni be ba o mem ha say central from be kaya 2020 ebra ekoto aba electoral commission nya announce ye no NDC for penny for et say then president Yura Mahama Yura Sediketia miami nwa sami jamfimo ba bontin ebe ka kire Ghana for say aba ye to ye no NDC for edim kunim na ebi kra de Yura Mahama so mo win 146 Yura Sediketia so 141 sami jamfi so 141 Ninya echi omo ka kire omo chita for say the electoral commission make bia omo mfi no omo tinsi abontin enko edidi ebra electoral commission announce results ni wieye NDC for anto omo ase omo de assembly court they receive the kwatia ko gina adakam no emranim for ne busa ne say asema dabadan court say ye wia wa abato no vote a wonya ye eyesen you receive the kwatia ntime anya no ye busa ne say nipa senator aba wantime anya no oyedin wo ho eno videos wo ha ye de kire mu in central for enu free wo asema NPP ni ye kan say sabi ntina NDC for pa nim say woni nyina so bi a ene de ntina mo ka kire mo tita for say mo di nkunim na mo ma amanfo tisi abonten a ebi di mra hye mo nsem a police for ene Ghana for mo na mba bi o mo nye hwe kra no mo ko de o mo sakeka mo a mo pray bi mo na nyame on prebone ebredu say you resedicate ya corporate national chairman okosi ano anu enua mo NDC for ka kire mo say omo court no mo ni nyina so bia wo ho empo omo de omo nyina so no kra eni ho no ekoma yiru atachuchi kata ema papa tachuchi kata ka kire mo say yanum sa asemu pa na mo de court me de asolo ya mintimi de akiri enu ntina yiru resedicate aka say omo court na judge for ni busan say ni dance di we no wo ka say eni ho no ni nefi say no mu ni nyina so bia de me ka kwakosi ni say eti say Ghana ha ya tena say ma NDC for afom ho adi e won tro ne na dance bebre omoka de omoka ni 2020 anya ne kure no de na Ghana for ye ka fa ho NDC kure ya ye kura koto aba 2024 esa de nsema beto abonten say electoral commission epeso wi abenu ema MPP ensema amde koda electoral commission say allegations ni nya no up to now say no krepa say mo nyina so bi ha mo fambra na electoral commission fo hu mo ma central for ehu mo ma Ghana fo nyina hu say ensensi na moka enem no moka say sa dance no NDC for famai na sabi abo bi kodu so obi ayebone a it is just fair say the pa na dia wa ye no o ma o de be kire no na ma Ghana fo nyina hu sempo ka electoral commission NDC for the science sem no kwa komo ana omo ntime anya no ana NDC for ko demonstration ka Ghana fo nyina eno mbe ya adwen be ne no ka say ade property nti omo ko ho demonstration no electoral commission nim yes central for nim MPP for so nim o ye ni free wa Ghana ye wa bakosem Ghana mra CI 91 CR 127 ebesi sano ese eba abato ho nsema electoral commission true or the true exhibition of voter register ehwese aye dwumaku ne bia fonso betimi aba ni petro mudin e bia fonso betimi aba se nipa person or transfer the vote e bia kwa nipa kwa so awu voter register nim na se yi omufrim true voter exhibition no electoral commission etimi correct sa normal we nyina abakosem ho 2015 the NDC 4 year omokan MPP to sa na money bi sabre no kwen sema na ye ka kwa na emu odu eti the NDC 4 ne ka efi se ne akọ 2012 election petition ama nsenchene ya de koma court for na Ghana for hu ye no ehun sa mpa sema MPP 4 ka na emu dim enti MPP gina so ye ni ko bi te say let my vote count alliance for any other civil society groups e ka say sadia any electoral commission enfa independent audit team that's a forensic team na your voter register no ye hwehwem e bi kra de ka say there be voter register no nam problems e wom yes sane nyina no an electoral commission T abejeko bia na yewra VCRAC crap down no le ko na asem o mka ne se eba mremu a electoral commission kwa na otumi se obeka abato ho asem na ehihye bia obia no wada na di sa VCRAC crap committee ni share no NDC for so ba hobi na nipa na odi NDC anim yewra asidin ketia na o agina secretary asama yewra asidin ketia edito VCRAC crab any Ghana phone anim ne say electoral commission o amamre any kwan a ofa so a odi na dwuma etisa amamre ne ekwan ne wo ho a ye ma ne ntena ho na electoral commission adwuma a wo ye no exhibition a wo ye no eboa se ba bia mfonso bia obia no etimi correct enti be the MPP for ka say ye ma independent forensic auditors embra no enyina so bia ni so omunya aka ni nyina wie no anya MPP de nenso so ye gitum say ampa electoral commission no ene body a o sa atumi no na wontimi nka say wontimi nya na adwuma de etim fa nkomo obia e ma asema ye ka no 2015 no ija tuo esa to true exhibition no normal na high MPP nyina no e de koma electoral commission so omo hwe sa be na nkofo ewu a omodin voter register no ye compile list no e de koma electoral commission enti ye de enim sa asem bi eni ho enti enya ate ho ase se electoral commission ye voter register wie na obi wo ha wonti ase a o petition electoral commission no wate ase no wahwehwem se asema waka no janso wo ma na se janso nim enti ekoba say said 9 years after 2015 what 2024 ade ye nyina ate ase na mu NDC kwa na mu di anim a ye resedi ketia wo na odi anim de na asesa wa oji tu say electoral commission enya exhibition afi de o se there bi ye ma independent forensic committee emum ena emergency electoral commission adwuma enye se bi ekobasa na ekwakore na atwum na ekwakore se de bia wo de ena wo ka a echina na obeka bi eno so mboa sa adwuma no oye anu fru a o ma penny that Daira Mahama in 2015 ebra na MPP ye ka say electoral commission voter register no enye no o penny ba bonte eno so hu video eyi kire mo a wo ka che Ghana for ne MPP for say electoral commission odi no ho sabi ena amayoko bi na we share electoral commission adwuma a wonye enti asema MPP ye nyina ye busa Ira Mahama ne NDC for say electoral commission de no ho na say what sense ye na adwuma a wo ka ne 2015 no what has changed there na asesa afi de wo ka say the electoral commission adwuma a wonye no onye ni ye tie ma obi magi electoral commission adwuma enye enti ye MPP ya amayoko a ye tia ba mu a ye nim se na meboa December 7 enam adwuma pa Ira Kufado aban ene ni suade hu ayo abamia wo se obedi mama Ghana for the bedi nkunu abato no the NDC for nsema o moka no etie for ene yenwa mo amo central adwuma no ye so ma enyehi na ye srem nyina mo se ye hwe NDC anamo mutu ya anamo a se bi ehu a embo oman no na ye nya afo ya no antum ye no man kasa se de omo ye no omunjai na se mo wasem papa bi ka evidence am so mo won mfa mbra bontin mfa ma electoral commission na electoral commission fu hu enesa mabom musrem se mo pese basa ba Ghana eninti na mutu sana mo no medam nyina amase. So we'll invite, we'll give you the opportunity to ask questions. We'll take a batch of questions from the English media houses and then we'll take 3 ones, 3 at a time. So you mentioned your media house and you have repetition, please.